Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're making KegLand's all grain recipe kit, the Tropocalypse. We'll start by heading over to KegLand's website. Here you can select single batch or double batch. Also, if you want the grain bill milled or unmilled, adding it into the Brewfather app so we can easily track our brew day. The malts in this recipe include 4 kilograms of extra pale malt, 1 kilogram of rolled oats, and 500 grams of golden naked oats. Plenty of hops in this one. For the boil, 12.5 grams of CTZ, a mixture of Columbus, Tomahawk, and Zeus. For the hop stand, 50 grams of Nectron, 25 grams of Superdelic, and for the dry hop, 50 grams each of HBC, Nectron, and Superdelic. For the yeast, we will be using 1 packet of Lallemand Pomona. Included in the kit is the main grain bill. I opted for milled grains. 1 kilogram bag of rolled oats. 1 kilogram bag of golden naked oats. All the hops for the boil and hop stand. And a mountain of hops for the dry hop additions. Lastly, a single packet of the Pomona yeast. Okay, adding in 21.3 litres of filtered water into the mash tun and 6.5 litres into the Sparging water boiler. Setting the strike temp to 71 degrees Celsius or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Now while that heats up, add in your salts to your preferred water profile. We only need 500 grams of golden naked oats, so weighing that up, then adding it in with the rest of the grain bill. Now adding in the whole bag of rolled oats to the grain bill, then giving it a quick mix around. After hitting strike temp, setting the boiler to 68 degrees Celsius or 154 degrees Fahrenheit. Slowly adding in the grains while giving them a mix to break down any dough balls clumped together in the water. Because of the oats in this recipe, the water is getting thick and hard to stir, so I've had to add the recirculating arm early to move the liquid up from the bottom of the mash tun. This will help us add in that last bit of the grain bill without getting any dough balls. Giving this a stir every 15 minutes for 1 hour. After 1 hour, bumping up the temperature to 75 degrees Celsius or 167 degrees Fahrenheit. After reaching the target temp, starting the mash out for 15 minutes. Getting the sparging water up to 76 degrees Celsius or 169 degrees Fahrenheit. After the mash out, lift out those grains and strain them off. Connecting the silicone hose to the pump, sparging off those grains until we reach a pre-boil volume of 24.4 litres. Once that's done, remove the spent grains and set the boiler to maximum temperature. Taking a pre-boil gravity reading of 1.047, and that's a little under what I was expecting to achieve here. Now the wort has reached a rolling boil, time to add in the hop spider to get it sanitized. Weighing out 12.5 grams of CTZ, and these will go in the hop spider for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, strain the hop spider and remove the spent hops. Turning off the boiler and letting it cool down to 80 degrees Celsius or 176 degrees Fahrenheit. When this has reached the target temp, time to start the 20-minute hop stand by adding in 50 grams of Nectron and 25 grams of Superdelic. After 20 minutes, strain out the hop spider and remove the spent hops. Now running the wort through the plate chiller to get it down to a suitable temperature for the yeast. Making sure all the equipment we will be using is thoroughly sanitized so we don't infect the wort with any diseases. Taking a post-boil gravity reading of 1.051. Slowly adding in the yeast, then giving it a splash around to help aerate the wort. This will help the yeast perform well. Popping in the rat peel and closing up the fermenter. Screwing that lid down tight. Now it's time for this to go into the fermenter fridge. Setting the spunding valve to 10 psi and putting that on the gas line on the fermenter. This will be fermented for 3 days at 19 degrees Celsius or 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry about that, but I messed up filming this part, but now this is getting fermented for 6 days at 22 degrees Celsius or 71 degrees Fahrenheit. 6 days later, this will now be soft crashed for 3 days at 12 degrees Celsius or 53 degrees Fahrenheit. 3 more days later, and now we're ready to add the dry hop additions. For this recipe, the dry hop additions will be 50 grams each of HBC, Nectron and Superdelic. Taking off the spunding valve and opening up the fermenter. Then slowly adding in the hops without spilling them all over the floor. Closing back up the fermenter and adding in a small amount of CO2. This will purge out any oxygen in the fermenter when we release the air out of the pressure release valve. After all that, cold crashing for 2 days at 1 degree Celsius or 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Looking at the data from the rat pill in the Brewfather app, we can see the yeast performed really well over the first 3 days. Then we only lost a couple of gravity points after bumping up the temperature for 6 days. This is where we soft crash. And here's where we dry hopped and cold crashed the beer. Being able to monitor the temp of the fermentation process from any device takes out a lot of the guesswork when home brewing. Another feature in the Brewfather app, it tracks a lot of information from the brew day to help homebrew nerds like me keep track of the recipe results. And if you're in the market for homebrew software, please consider supporting this channel by using the affiliate link in the description below. You'll also gain an endless amount of homebrew recipes in the recipe library. Okay, 2 days later, it is time to close transfer this heavily hopped beer into the keg. Start by removing the spunding valve, setting the CO2 bottle to 1 bar and connecting it to the gas line on the fermenter. Connect the beer line from the fermenter to the keg. Connect the release valve to the gas line on the keg, then slowly release the valve until you hear a slight hissing sound. Once beer hits the release valve or you run out of beer in the fermenter, take the valve off and now it's time to force carbonate this beer. Cranking up that CO2 bottle to 3 bar, connecting the gas line to the keg, then rolling it on the floor for 2 minutes. Now that's completed, release any excess CO2 from the keg and throw it into your keg fridge. Pouring out roughly 500 ml to push out any crap at the bottom of the keg and flush the lines out of any excess line cleaner. Here are my notes on KegLand's all-grain kit, the Tropocalypse. This beer bursts with a juicy tropical intensity led by a lush blend of mango, passion fruit, peach and candied pineapple from the Nectron, Superdelic and HBC 586 hops. A soft, pillowy mouthfeel thanks to rolled oats and golden naked oats carry those vibrant hop notes smoothly across the palate, with a subtle bitterness from the CTZ adds just enough structure. The Pomona yeast brings it all together with a clean finish and light stone fruit esters. It's a bold hazy brew that delivers a silky, fruit-forward experience from start to finish. If I ever made this beer again, I would definitely be adding some carafoam to help with the head retention. Thanks for hanging out to the end of this video, it's very much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.